we're going to go ahead and start off with our lightest gray. Let's see if you can see that in our light. And I'm going to grab a whole mess of it. We're going to cover the bottom part of this with our gray. And this is a light gray. And notice what I'm doing. I've got a lot of paint on both sides. Let's get this out of our way. And I'm going to do long lines just like this. Nice and gentle. I'm going to grab some more paint. Nice long lines just like that. I'm not worried about my edges right now. And I'm going to grab a little bit more. And remember, we said about half, so we're probably going to stop right about here. Now, it is important that you start from the bottom and go up. Do not start this way and come back down. Why is that, Karina? Because, oh, by the way, my name is Karina. I'm your art instructor. Because if you start here and come all the way down, then when you start trying to blend that darker gray, it's just not going to blend. So let's go this way.
Hey guys, if you're enjoying the video, please help us and support the channel by liking, subscribing, and hitting the bell.
By the way, when you're doing these lines, I don't want to see you sitting here doing this. This is going to look choppy. So again, nice and long, just like that. Hey, Karina, I don't know if you noticed this. You just went right over your moon. I did, but I don't know if you can see this. I'm not using as much paint when I'm getting near that black line. So I'm being a little bit more conservative. Just like that. Yeah, sure, you know, you can go through your moon. It doesn't really matter. Right in here, that's fine. But remember, when you're bumping up to that circle, you want to go ahead and be a little less generous with your paint. And so here we go. Now, once you know you've done that little part right there, don't sit there and start doing your edges, because I want to make sure that you've got enough paint before you start doing any extra credit stuff. So I stopped there. Yeah, I went a little over, but remember, this is the cool thing about art, is that there's no exact right or wrong. So with that same brush that's dirty, I'm going to dip that into my dark gray. And I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm not going to start right here on top of my lighter gray. I'm going to start within it. Just like that. Now here is where I am going to be a little bit more careful. I don't really want to encroach into my moon. If you decide to, hey, I want to do something like this, Karina, so we don't get in there, that's fine. But once I sat there and I did a little bit of this gray, check this out. I'm going to start creeping down a little bit. And I haven't put any more paint on that paintbrush. All I'm doing is kind of smearing what's already there to where you don't see an exact line to where, hey, this is light gray, this is dark gray. Everything kind of just starts blending in a little bit. Look how pretty that is. And I still haven't put any more paint on here. I'm gonna maybe just put a few little lines right in here. And now we can go ahead and fill in this top part with that same color. It's still our dark gray. Let's go for it. And notice again, I keep grabbing a lot of paint on this step, and nice and gentle, we're just going to go ahead and fill the rest of our background. And again, notice how nice and light I'm doing this. And now that I know I've got enough paint left over, now I'm going to grab some of that same paint. I'm going to pick this up a little bit. And watch what I'm doing. I am doing my edges right in here. I'm doing my edges right over here. This is going to look so much nicer, guys, when you do your edges. Hey, and let's go ahead and do our top edge right in here. Again, I'm still using that dark gray color. So all we've done so far is our light gray. Now I'm doing my dark gray, and I'm just doing part of my edge. Notice I didn't go any further down right in here, because what color is this right in here? This is going to be my light gray that's here. It's going to just wrap around over here. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. I have not washed off that paintbrush. have not. And we're going to go ahead and do this as well. If it's a little streaky, that's fine. This is just our edge. And I'm going to go ahead and do this. And for this next step, guys, we're going to need to let our background dry. So if you've got a handy hair dryer somewhere around, by all means, now's the time to take that puppy out. Just do a quick little blow dry. Again, you want to give yourself at least 8 inches from your actual painting. So don't sit here and blow dry this closely because you might damage your painting. But let's go ahead and blow dry this entire area right out in here. So we're going to take a quick little break and we'll get started in just a sec.
Hey guys, if you're enjoying the video, please help us and support the channel by liking, subscribing, and hitting the bell.
All right, guys, so we went ahead and dried off our background. And what we're going to do now is with our glass of water, we're going to go ahead and wash off our paintbrush. Now here's where you can be a little bit more aggressive with just kind of jabbing that paintbrush in here. And you're going to jab, jab, jab. Now you're not ever going to get all that paint out of there, but that's okay. And then you're going to grab a paper towel, and I'm just tapping off my paintbrush. And I am just going to squeeze that dry. Squeeze that dry. Beautiful. And we're going to come in here now and we're going to do our moon. So here we go. We're going to be using this yellowy white, and it's more white than yellow. It's just a little tinge of yellow. Let's grab a lot of that paint. We're going to come in here, and I am using this big brush, and notice how I'm just going to kind of go around just like this. And we're going to start filling this guy in. And you're going to have to keep grabbing a lot of paint. Now, some people do like to use their small brush and sit here and try to outline. Whatever is better for you guys, that's totally up to you. I feel like I like to paint a little bit smarter, not harder. So I grab a lot of paint with my big brush and I hold it right there. And I just keep ticking all the way around, all the way around. Don't hesitate. Now, if there's some kind of funkiness down at the bottom, do not worry, because what is going to be covering that area is a whole bunch of tall grass, or maybe they're trees. That's up to you. Nice. And let's just keep grabbing and dabbing on here. Now again, look at what I'm doing, guys. I'm just kind of popping back and forth. Back and forth, back and forth. You may need a couple of coats of this if you decided to fill in your moon with a lot of the grays. I'm not too worried about it, because if you look at your original example, there is some splotchiness that's happening here. So again, don't worry about it. And I'm just dabbing, dabbing, dabbing. Just kind of letting the paint sit there. And I'm doing the same thing down here. And I'm maybe going to go over this little edge one more time. Now, some of you may be a little worried, oh my gosh, Karina, I messed up that edge. Don't worry about it. Because what's going to happen, I still see a little bit of white right in here. I can always use my small brush, grab a little bit of this dark color, and just kind of pop in a little bit right in here. So again, it's never too late. Oop, I got a little bit of water on here. Let's grab that, just take that off. And so now I've got my little choppy moon. And what I'm going to do now is, the moon's got some spots in there. So with that same dirty brush, I'm going to grab just a little bit of this light gray, and oh my gosh, I only got a corner of it. I don't know if you guys can see, it's just a little corner there. And even so, I'm a big chicken. I'm going to tap it on my paper towel just like that, so that really I took most of it off. And now I'm going to come in here and look at what I'm doing. I'm actually kind of dirtying up my moon. Just like that. So go ahead and dirty up that moon a little bit. You don't want to see just a nice solid yellow. It's gotta have some, you've seen those spots on the moon. So here we go. At any point, you can stop this video. Maybe you decide, hey, I need to go refresh my cup of coffee, or hey, it is time for lunch. That is up to you guys. I'll still be here. Everyone kind of works at their own pace, so if you're like, holy moly, how did Karina go so quick on that blend? Or holy moly, you know, I'm not even halfway done on outlining my moon. Again, this is more instructional, just showing you what the steps are. You stop and start at any point. If you decide, hey, I'm just going to work on the background today, tomorrow I'll come back and approach it and do the moon. And well, really, again, that's the cool thing about this, is that if you left those paints in your containers, just pop that lid back on there, wash off these brushes, come back and approach it again the next day. So I'm going to go ahead and wash off my big brush. So let's go ahead and just wash off our big brush. So when I did my yellow moon, did I wash off my paintbrush? No, I did not. I grabbed a little bit of my light gray and I kind of peppered it in while my yellow was still a little wet on my moon. And I'm just going to dry that again. Very nice. Let's get a little crazy with it, guys. Now I'm going to come in here. I'm going to keep referencing our printout. You'll see right around here, there's almost a glow on that moon. How do we accomplish that? We're going to be using our clean brush. We're going to use some of that pearlesque paint. And you don't really need very much of that pearl, but I always do get in the habit of getting it on both sides. I know this sounds crazy, and I know this is still wet, but I am going to come in here and I'm going to do long lines around my moon. Now, I don't want to see you sitting here doing chop, 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 because you'll see every time you stopped your paintbrush stroke. I want to see something like this, and here we go. I know, by the way, that I'm going to smear this. That's the purpose here. So I did not let this dry. So you did your yellow. As soon as you did your yellow in your moon, you popped in a little bit of that light gray, pop, pop, pop. Everything's still wet. You've got that pearl in here, and let's go for it. Here we go. Now again, I am not really worried about the bottom. Why is that? Because this is where all of my trees are going to be. So again, not too worried about it. And you don't need very much of this. You can kind of see I'm being really stingy with this. But the trick is nice, long strokes, boom. And you can kind of see, well, it's up to you how much of that glow you want on there. It's kind of a raggedy finish. That's exactly what we want. Boom. Very, very nice. So we're done with that. And you can kind of see right in here, it's a little messy. We're good. All right, let's go ahead and wash off our big brush again. Now, once we wash off this big brush, I'm not going to dry it. I am going to leave it a little wet, so it's a little drippy, because I'm going to come over here to a little bit of my yellowy white, and I'm going to add a few drops of water, just like that. And I'm going to mix, mix, mix. So I've kind of got some very loose, watery yellow. What are we going to do with that, Karina? Oh, this is the fun part. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to flick it just like that. I'm going to show you the side. I'm just going to flick, flick, flick. I've seen some people who sit here with their brush and they kind of do that. That's a little too uncontrolled. and you're going to get it on your nice placemats over there, and then you're going to be angry with me. No, no, no. A little bit more control. Check this out. So here we go. We're just going to, ooh, I like a lot of stars. We're working on our stars actually. Very nice. Wow. I actually made some constellations. Cool, cool. And as you can see, we've got our stars. Okay, let's wash off our paintbrush once again. Tap, tap, and let's dry it. By now, this is probably, yeah, this is actually all dry by now. We're going to start working on our grass, and we're going to be using our black. So this is kind of important. You can either use a flat brush like this where you can see that, let me see if I can do this. You can kind of see it's a flat brush. It's not a round brush. And I'm referring to the tip of this right here. And the reason why we want that is look at how I'm going to flatten that brush this way and this way. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to start working on my grass. And let me kind of move over here to the side. And you can kind of see it's as easy as that. I'm holding that paintbrush nice and vertical, just like that. I'm just going boom, boom. Do not hold it like this. That's chunky grass. These are lines, and you can kind of see. You got to keep grabbing some black. And to be quite honest, some areas are going to be a little bit taller than others. Maybe here's where you made that boo-boo and you're going to say, hey, Karina, I really want to cover that up. Well, now's your chance. And you can kind of see, I'm just doing it very lightly. Awesome. You can hear our little birds chirping outside. It's a beautiful day. I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves. Again, this is supposed to be stress-free. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. If your brush starts looking a little chunky, remember, use a plate and just flatten that brush. And now it's nice and skinny again. And let's keep going. Very nice. And I don't want to see any gaps down here towards the bottom. If you decide, hey, I want a little bit of a longer grass over here, by all means, come back and add a little bit of height to it. Cool, cool. And I'm going to flatten that brush again because I want to see some skinny lines right here. And don't forget, whatever happens here, we've got to wrap around over here. So we're doing our edge here and here. And of course, down on the bottom. There we go. Very nice. Remember, the hardest part about doing any of these paintings, guys, is actually just starting. So don't feel overwhelmed. Remember, I'm here to help you guys out. Again, my name is Karina. I hope you guys had a fun time today. See you later.
Hey guys, if you're enjoying the video, please help us and support the channel by liking, subscribing, and hitting the bell.